What happens when you get 32 super competitive Dynasty fantasy football players all together in one Dynasty startup draft? That's what we're going to get into today on the Dynasty Mountain podcast.
Dynasty Mountain, the climb to greatness.
My name is Dan Christensen. I'm the commissioner of Dynasty Mountain. It's a 32 team, four division, promotion, and relegation Dynasty Fantasy Football League. We are on day four of the startup draft, and it's been a little bit crazy. And so we are going to talk with one of the owners today, kind of about their take. They've been very active and going to go over kind of how it's been going for them and their overall take and kind of what they've been seeing so far as we're just a couple rounds into the draft. We're going to be talking with Luke Yeager, who's the owner of Pickle and Sizzle. They're in the Valley, which is the bottom of the four divisions in Dynasty Mountain. We're going to chat with him today and kind of get some insights from him. All right, Luke, welcome to the show. I appreciate you taking some time to be here with me tonight and talk Dynasty Mountain.
Heck yeah. No, I mean, for those watching later, this is going on mid-draft. So I am so thankful that Lamp had to work and I don't have to be constantly checking my phone to see. Hopefully he stays at work while we're recording this whole thing.
Yeah, we as we're recording this, I think we just kind of made the 2-3 turn. So we're kind of a few picks into the third round. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been interesting just trying to get 32 people to draft and all kinds of different schedules and people making trades and all that kind of stuff, so which we can talk more about. But first, I did want to ask you because I know you have another promotion relegation league as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
tell us a
So
little bit about that. What's that like, and how's it maybe a little bit different than Dynasty Mountain?
Well, yeah, it's so we started it about 3 years ago. This will be our fourth year. And so we have two leagues. It's 16 teams and same thing as us where we're all drafting from the same pool of players. The rosters are a lot bigger, obviously, because it's 16 teams total. So we have 20 guys on a roster. You're starting like a typical 8-man roster, stuff like that. But we kind of started it because all of my friends were sickos who we did fantasy all through high school. We were doing it all together. And then we kept getting a little bit more complicated, a little bit more complicated. And then I think someone threw out the idea that there needed to be a stronger penalty if someone lost. We need to kick someone out. And then we're like, well, let's just make it a relegation league. Let's split it into two and make it more fun. And I would say the main difference between ours and this one would be that we're a contract league rather than a full dynasty league.
Okay.
So we use League Tycoon, and so you can keep guys up to 4 or 5 years. Their contracts increase as it goes, and you more so have to play with cap space and play with contracts. So like some guys who are like I have Jamar Chase in the other league, and I can't ship him out right now because he's on too expensive of a contract.
Okay.
Whereas I can easily ship out a guy like Marvin Harrison because everybody wants him because I bought him as a rookie and he's dirt cheap.
Hmm.
So it's a weird dynamic, whereas that won't happen in this league, right? I mean, Jamar Chase is always going to be better than Marvin Harrison, even if Marv somehow gets a little bit better than he's been. But that's kind of
No,
the main difference.
yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I've wanted to do something like this for a while. I just thought it was, I just think the whole promotion relegation system just it makes a lot of sense for just evening things out and kind of
Oh
earning
yeah.
earning and like I said, kind of getting punished for not doing well. Like it just makes it makes it a little more interesting. It'll be interesting to see over the
Yeah.
years as this league plays out, like how it evens out and teams kind of because right now it's who knows, like there's gonna be teams in the bottom that are gonna be maybe just as strong as teams at the top, and I think it'll kind of even out as we go, but that'll be interesting to see.
It will be fun. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do like the added element of relegation because it adds that one more level of strategy. Like
Mhm.
if you're doing bad, you don't just automatically go into tank mode because maybe tank mode sends you down and you just don't want to go down a league. You kind of got to work that fine line and
Yeah.
it's fun. And now I don't want to like since being in the other relegation league and now being in this one, I have no desire to do just a standard like redraft league.
Yeah.
It's now I'm just like I need something a little deeper, a little more meaty.
Yeah.
So I love
Yeah. Kind
this.
of.
When I saw this on TikTok, I was like, oh dude, I gotta get in this. I was so pumped. I think I got the 30-second spot.
Yeah.
If I'm right, if I
Yeah. You were
remember
one of the
right. I
last
don't
ones to respond. Yeah. So just snuck you in
know.
there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, super pumped.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I wanted to talk, a lot of this, I wanted to talk draft because that's kind of what we're doing right now, and we're kind of in the middle of it. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the moves that you made specifically in a little bit. But first, just wanted to get kind of your overall take, overall vibes on like how the draft is going in your opinion, and how the experience is maybe different than other startup drafts or just other fantasy drafts that you've been in.
Oh, I mean, it's a different experience from any draft I've been in. I've never been in a full dynasty, so
Okay.
this is my first legit dynasty startup draft.
Hmm.
So I've never experienced, I know some of the other guys I've talked to have been like, oh yeah, I'm always moving around before a startup draft, or some of the other
Hmm.
guys are like, nah, I like to stay steady. I was just kind of trying to find the strategy as I went,
Hmm.
and I started slower. Now I've become kind of trade trigger happy. It's been a bit ridiculous. But I've enjoyed it. It's super fun. I've never really done a slow draft either,
Hmm.
which is very different. I think I did one other slow draft and very different circumstances. You know, now with, like you said, 32 different teams,
Hmm.
there's always somebody to do a trade talk with.
Yeah.
But I think when I did the other draft, it wasn't like during work, it wasn't during other stuff. This has completely destroyed everything else that has gone because I can't stop thinking about it, not like nonstop. Even when I'm trying to put it down, I'm slower at what I'm then supposed to be doing because every 15 seconds I'm thinking about the trade I should have made or shouldn't have made or something like that. And so it's super fun. I'm enjoying it. I think there's some guys in the league maybe not enjoying the slow process so much. There's a eagerness definitely to get the draft done from some people, but I don't know. What do you think? Looking as an outsider, I'm very curious. You're a commissioner, you're not in the league.
Hmm.
What's it like to watch the chaos slowly unfold?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's definitely like I didn't expect it to go fast. It's going a little bit slower than I thought. I feel like I feel like we figured it out. I feel like the first round went pretty slow. I think a lot of people were just kind of getting used to like some people weren't even totally aware like, oh, my picks like they just weren't making sure people had sleeper settings on
Right.
and notifications on, that kind of thing. But I feel like it's moving a little faster. But yeah, I think I underestimated just how much people will trade, and I can't see what the trade talks are like, but I imagine pretty much anytime anyone's on the clock, they're getting a few offers or they're shooting out some offers,
Oh
and
yeah.
so like every single time there's that option. So it's not just you're on the clock, you pick. Everyone's thinking about trades, and yeah, there's definitely some people that are a little bit more impatient and want to get it going, but I think it's kind of funny because the people that were impatient in the beginning, when it got to their turn, they kind of waited around a little bit and took the offers. So, and I feel like that's kind of slowed down. I feel like the impatience has slowed down a little bit because people are like, oh yeah, that's I understand what it's like now to be on the clock. But um,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
no, it's cool.
I think you're right. It has been funny. There has been a couple of guys who are like push, 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 and then it's like, oh hey, where you at? And then I think a lot of people though, it's just it's you got work, you got family, you
Mhm.
got other stuff, and it's like, oh sorry, I just it's been 10 minutes and I didn't see it. Sorry. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're fine, dude. It's no big deal. We have 12 hours for a reason.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Doing 12-hour clock, and no one's gotten, I don't think, anywhere close to that. There's been some people that have taken 4 to 6 hours maybe, but again, it's probably
Yeah.
just they were at work and didn't have a chance to check. I think for the most part, it's all been hour or less for most picks, I think. But
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
get it done with plenty of time. I think in your kind of guidelines you had you'll put out the next stuff July 1st or whenever this ends. So were you kind of initially thinking this would last about a month?
Yeah, my guess was a little bit over a month. That was kind of my guess is what it would take, like 5 weeks or so. I don't know. After the first two rounds, we weren't on pace for that. I think yesterday we had a pretty good day, and today's moving along pretty well. So I still think we could do it before July 1st.
Oh
Just
yeah.
depends. I don't know how if things will slow down as it gets later, if people don't care as much, but also people might be trading less at that point. I don't know. I don't really know. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe people will
Uh,
trade more because it's like we're trying to fill those last few spots on their team, and I don't know.
yeah, I guess I could see it going either way. I expected round one to be the worst
Hmm.
or the slowest, not the worst. The worst is the
Yeah,
wrong choice. Just the slowest
yeah.
because there's so much on every pick and the value of it and trying to weed things out. I
Hmm.
feel like the farther down we get, guys are maybe more well, like you said, they've either figured out values or they're more willing to be like, you know what, like an eighth or a ninth or a ninth or a tenth isn't that big a difference. Let's just get the deal done. Something like that. I
Yeah.
could see the later we go, it'll just be like a Oh, okay. Throw in an extra 11th. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Here, take it. Let's get the deal done.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at your some of the moves that you made because I think you probably made the most trades so far just in the draft. I think at least when I looked, I think you're up to nine, and I think you only made one, maybe only made one today. So really eight in the first 3 days. Lots of trades,
That's
and I know you're up to 156 fab. I don't know what you were at with fab before we started, but zero. Okay,
zero.
you're up to
Yeah, zero at the
156.
start of the draft.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
huge. So going up to 156, if anyone's listening to this and you're not in the league, Fab is really important because we don't have rookie picks. Like we're not gonna have a rookie draft; it's an auction draft. So Fab, besides being able to use it for trades and for loans, which we actually just had our first loan went through. I don't know if you saw that. Someone,
Crazy. Yeah, Drake
yeah,
Drake London
yeah,
for 55, was it?
yeah,
Something like that.
someone loaned him out. So new guy. So he has London until week 17, and then the original owner will get London back. But yeah, 55. I think one of the things that's interesting about this league is just trying to see the values and like no one really knows. I feel like everyone's kind of figuring it out. And I don't think there have been too many trades that have looked like really egregious, like, oh man, this is an awful trade. I think it's just kind of nobody knows. Like looking back, we might look back and be like, wow, that was a bad trade. But I feel like no one really
Oh,
understands the value yet of what the
oh,
dollar is. And
100%.
yeah, so
It's gone it's gone in whatever waves of values kind of constantly changing, and I think some people have traded at the right times, not traded at the right times. I also feel like I can't remember who I was talking to. Might have been Uncle Sway or something like that. Just basically like, hey, I don't think you made many moves before, and
mhm,
that might have been, I can't tell if that was the right decision or not the right decision, but
mhm,
it definitely gave him the most flexibility to trade in every single round and to
mhm.
move. I do think though there was guys who set themselves up really well to have higher capital
Yeah.
and make some of those trades. I'd be curious if the guys who I mean I know they had the strategy, and they're if they stick to it, I think it could be a great strategy. Like who is it who's your buddy Elias what
Scott, yeah.
Scott. Scott has like $450, but he can't make a move until the fifth round or fourth round or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I
I'm
think there's
curious if
three.
he's yeah, sorry, go for
No, I was just saying, I think there's three guys that have not picked yet. Still, I think he's one of
it.
them.
Yeah, yeah, but it might be the right decision. I think only
Yeah.
time will tell. We won't know until maybe even 2 years down the road who
Mhm.
made the right moves
Yeah.
genuinely.
Yeah, I think that first rookie auction draft again, like will be no one's really going to know what the values are going to be. It's going to be blind, just auction. It's
Yeah.
essentially we're essentially running it like waivers, but every day you're just going to have to throw in a bid, and that's where the fab will really help. But again, you don't know. Um, but I think there's also again there's plenty of opportunity if he has there's him and I think there's two other people maybe three others that have like over 300 fab right now, and like they
Mm-hmm.
can save it for those rookie drafts if that's what they're trying to do, or like you can make a loan for Drake London, $55. Like they can make moves like that in the middle of the season. I think it'll be interesting to see how people end up using that fab.
Oh, that's the
But
beauty of this league. The
yeah.
what you created in all the different facets that we have to be able to make our own strategic choices. I
Hmm.
mean, it's it's so fun. It feels closer to being a real GM. I mean, we're not. We don't have to deal with a lot of things, but it's like it's as close as I feel like I'll get in fantasy to being a real GM, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
it's it's great. I'm living with regrets. I'm having highs from certain trades. It's just I think like Danny Cohen put out what I had done after day one. I think he was like, I was
Mhm.
just curious, went through, compiled it. I didn't even know. Like you said, I've done 9 trades. I'm getting them all kind of lost. I don't actually, I don't know
Yeah.
if I've net profited, if I've done worse. Who knows? But it's been fun. That's what
Yeah.
I do know. It's been
Yeah,
really fun.
originally I was gonna write them down just to kind of see. I didn't end up doing that, but I looked and saw like so originally, you had traded down, you traded up into the 106, and then you immediately traded that back, went to the 107, then went to the 108, because people
Yeah.
were making offers and trying to get them, and I think that's when you're getting some harassment of people being like, all right, just make a pick. But then when he did that and he posted here's what he got, everyone was like, oh, he actually made out pretty good, and so I think that's when everyone was like, all right, I
Yeah.
think he was actually kind of smart doing that. And then you ended up
Well, we'll
trading it
we'll
all,
see.
whatever you
Yeah.
ended up. I think the 108 you ended up trading for you got 60 fab, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. And then at some point
Hmm.
you traded back up and you were able to get Joe Burrow, who I think had already been drafted. Um,
Yeah.
and then then you traded back up again and you drafted Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's been weird. I think yeah, I just kept trading back. I do remember I can't remember who said it exactly, but we had waited a little while for the 106. That trade took a little while to happen.
yeah,
I traded up and somebody said, "Oh, Yegg I could kiss you." And I was like on the other side, I was like, "Dude, you're not gonna feel the same way in about 5 seconds. Like
yeah,
trade the pick's on the block. Let's see what's out
yeah,
there." Then it took another like 3, 4 hours to get that move in. So you know what, I feel bad slightly. I also don't feel bad at the end of the day because it was just fun. It was a
yeah.
good time.
No, and again, like I said, I think in the beginning people were a little the first like half of the first round people were getting impatient, being like people need to just pick. But then when it got to their turn, they were the ones taking half hour, and looking through trades. And so I think everyone's starting to realize like, all right, pretty much every time I'm on the clock, I'm gonna get some trade offers and I gotta look them over and figure that out. So I think that makes it fun.
Oh yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's super fun.
What has been, you don't, I don't want you to give away your strategy, but what has kind of been your like mindset of trades? Is it just kind of looking at like, all right, what can I get the most value from? Like, if I can trade the pick, do you have like a strategy in mind of like, this is like how I want to build my team, or is it more so just let's just take whatever opportunity we can to get more value? What's kind of been your philosophy without giving away your strategy? But
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I would say I came in with a game plan. I did have a way I wanted to structure my team, and I wanted a way I kind of wanted the draft to go, but it was more based on if I can't get a trade done because I didn't know what trading was going to be like. So I think a lot of people have mentioned in the draft, like we had months to do all of these mock drafts and everything, and it's like, I have a plan if nobody wants to trade with me.
Mhm.
But then when people make offers, it's like, okay, is the guy I was going to take worth more than the picks coming in? It's just playing that value. It's finding
Mhm.
that when's it better to move up, when's it better to move down, or like when Brock Purdy was there, I just felt like he was the last guy who really has a longevity
Mhm.
and a higher ceiling. So I was just like I'm gonna make this pick right away. There's no question. There's not really an offer that could come in that would move me off of this one. So I made that pick right away. But for most of it, it's just kind of feeling out what's the value, and let's be flexible because I'm not smart enough to master plan anything. I've got to
Mhm.
be flexible. I gotta no, yeah, I basically have to know I'm not smart enough to make the right decision. So let's just every trade as it comes. Okay, is that better than what I was thinking before? Cool. Let's adjust and let's kind of change what the strategy is. So it's flipped about 4 or 5 times, and I'm sure it'll flip 3 or 4 more before the
Mhm.
draft's done.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And I feel like if I was in the league, I probably would have done not a ton of trades pre-draft and waited till there was actually like names. And again, some people, some people did that. Some people didn't do money trades. Some people went like way over and committed to a side. Some people had, I think there was someone that had Jeremy Beers had, I think had three firsts. I can't remember if he picked all
Yeah.
three, but he had three firsts, and so he's going all in. He's clearly not, holding a lot of value or whatever for the future, or trying to get a bunch of assets. He's trying to focus on the beginning. And other people like we talked about with Scott and Gary, and I think there's a couple other. Brandon, I think, is another one that they have like 300 400 fab, but they're not don't have there's three guys that haven't picked yet. So they have
Right.
were I don't think any of them have picks until at least like the mid to late third round. So um and some of
Yeah,
them
that
are, I
was
think it
interesting.
sounds like they're making offers. So they're maybe thinking like, all right, maybe I do want to make a move up. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting to see the different strategies of some people kind of committing, some people kind of staying in the middle and waiting until the draft to actually see names on the board and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, oh, so I'm curious because I've never been in a league with you. This is the first time we've met in person or well, not in person, virtually in person.
Yeah.
Um, you're not in the league. I don't get to see your moves. What style of manager are you in your leagues?
Yeah. I feel like in some of the other dynasty leagues I'm in, um, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I tend to be like in startup drafts at least. I feel like I tend to not go all in. I almost tend to go a little bit on the younger side and not really go for it all in year one, but try to set myself up to be able to rebuild right away, rebuild quickly, in year two. And it worked in one of my leagues. I won, was like second or third to last the first year, and then was able to win the championship the second year. Another
Nice.
league I'm in tried doing the same thing, but didn't quite do as good the second year. Going into the third year though, I feel pretty good. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my general. But I'm also just I try not to commit necessarily to something, and kind of like it seems like what you're doing a little bit of just trying to get as much value as I can and look for opportunities just to gain value and depending on where things go. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, and this I
It
feel like
make
this league it's very different. It's hard to, and with such small lineups too, like you only have to start five guys, and so like that just throws a whole other curveball into like how you set your team. Because if you have five good guys and they stay healthy, that's all you need.
yeah.
Also, one guy getting hurt can really that's 20% of your starting lineup right there.
Well, yeah, and that one guy gets hurt, and now I mean, most people are at best adding a guy into their roster who was picked 32 picks later, which would be on like you'd be typically 3 rounds later in a normal draft, and that's a
Yeah.
massive gap in
Mhm.
talent.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun after the draft's over. I'll kind of go through and do my own like preseason rankings and predictions and that kind of stuff. Go through each team and kind of see where people are at, which will be fun to actually see the
Oh,
teams once they're like all settled. Everything's all settled with. Right now, the draft board is
yeah.
still just nuts. Like there's almost no one that has their own original picks anymore. Which is
No,
crazy.
I was. That's the one thing that's irritating the crap out of me is that I can't figure out. Uh, the draft board is so muddled that
Hmm.
like even though I can see the 4, 5, 6 picks ahead of me and be like, oh, okay, well, the round before in this slot, this player was taken. Well, it was never the same team. I can't figure
Hmm.
out who's drafted a running back, a wide receiver, a quarterback, a tight end. It's like
Yeah.
I don't have a spreadsheet going to see team needs and stuff like that. I wish Sleeper would change it so that you could more easily see what every single team has. Because I know when I'm in the draft, I can see, oh, here's what I've drafted.
Hmm.
I just wish they had that for every single team
Yeah.
down the line. That'd be so nice to have.
Yeah, yeah, I know you can click like if you go to your team, you can click on all of them, but you still have to click through all the teams to kind of see. So I've done that a few times, and it's interesting to see like, oh man, this person already has like four guys on their team, and there's other people that only
Yeah,
have like one player, and it's just to kind of see how people are building. But yeah, it's not easy to see, and the draft board is just kind of a mess. So
it is.
yeah,
It is
but
crazy.
awesome. Well, want to just ask you one more question. What's kind of the thing that you're most looking forward to seeing play out over the next 6 to 8 months, like just kind of getting through this season and into the next off season, like for this league, what are you kind of most just intrigued about or kind of excited to see what will happen?
So I'm gonna cheat and not just give one. I'll give two things. I
Yeah.
think the first one I'm most curious about, and I think a lot of people are, is how the loans are gonna play out.
Mhm.
Like not I love the concept of the loan. I think it's super fun. It's unique to the league, and it was one thing that drew me in. But I am curious to see what prices will be. Will Drake London be the highest loaned out player this
Mhm.
year, or will that set the thing and nobody will really go for less? I don't know. I'm super curious to see prices when people pull the trigger. Um, but beyond the loans, in a league that's as complex as this, I'm curious to see where people find the loopholes
Mhm.
because people will. I mean, you already had to mention, like, oh, I never said that we couldn't trade draft picks in this
Yeah.
for loans, but because people are trying to do it, we have to adjust on the fly and be like, is this the right move?
Yeah.
Those loopholes are always the most interesting thing to me. I'm curious to see where people are going to find their advantage and if I'm going to be happy or upset by it because it'll affect me one way or the other, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, and I think the whole loan thing, yeah, I think it'll be interesting the timing of it because we do have a trade deadline the last week of the regular season and loan deadline is the
Hmm.
same week. So it'll be interesting to see if prices like skyrocket that week before and people are like making that playoff push and like someone might maybe Jake London could have gone for 120, that week if someone was just desperate to get a wide receiver. So it'll be interesting to see
Right.
if the
And
value changes or if because
well,
it's the
and
end of
the
the season, maybe it's
interesting,
less.
yeah, I was going to, sorry, I jumped in on you.
Uh,
Didn't mean to, stepped all over your words. What's going to be interesting too is like, when are people going to have their draft dollars? Maybe the teams that have draft dollars aren't making a postseason push, so there's nobody wanting to buy loans, or maybe I'm completely wrong, and all the top teams hold their money till the end, and
yeah.
and nothing really happens till that last week. So yeah, I interrupted you to basically repeat exactly what you said. So sorry
No,
about
yeah, that's
that.
no, that's a good point. Like I do feel like it might kind of end up playing out where the teams that know they're not going to make the playoffs or not going to get promoted are the ones that hoard the cash, but they're not going to be willing to make they're not going to be making loans because they don't care.
No,
And so if they have all the money, um, when people actually want to make loans, yeah, maybe it will be cheaper just because of where prices are at. So and it might
I'm
change like year to year. It
curious.
might change just like depending on how many
Yeah.
overall dollars are kind of in the league.
Do you think 20 is going to, I know you had to kind of make a judgment. Do you think 20 is going to be too low or too high for the, like, do you think we'll have to move it one way or the other for a baseline?
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about it a lot trying to figure out a number, and I kind of wanted a number just to avoid some like potential collusion of being like, I don't even care. My season's done. I'll give you them for $1. Like I didn't want that happening. And then, um,
Right.
but yeah, I'm hoping it's not too high that it limit. I mean, clearly we just had 55. I know Drake London's kind of probably one of the better players that might get loaned out. I mean, he's one of the at least probably top. I don't know when where he got drafted. Um, so like, yeah, I don't know how much higher it gets. And I think it does limit it too. Like it's gonna be harder to loan like just kind of an average player because people might not want to. So, but I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it not being a million loans. People can still make trades and um, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it's too high. And again, like I said, it might be something we have to adjust after a year if there's not enough cash in the league or if there's way too much or if it's not. I don't know. But yeah, that'll be interesting.
Right. Yeah, because I was just wondering if like you get to the end of the year and obviously a guy has two studs left and they're like, yeah, but the rest of my roster is depleted. I don't necessarily want to buy a stud, but if I could go buy, I don't know, let's say DK has a drop off this year, right? Because of the punt return yards, but he's not doing as much. Maybe he's not quite as good. People are like, I don't want to spend 20 bucks. I would give 10, but now he would be off the table. I'm curious if stuff like, if we'll notice that, or like you said, you have to protect against collusion. Cause yeah, some guy will be like, yeah, but it's not collusion. It's still beneficial for me to take $2 when nobody else wants this guy.
Yeah.
But is that really what you want from the league? You
Yeah.
have a lot to deal with. I don't envy you in the slightest, but I'm very grateful for everything you're putting out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't envy your job.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been too bad, but yeah, I feel like I feel like there was a lot this kind of earlier this spring, just kind of going over. We did a ton of rules discussion and just trying to like, because I thought things through pretty well, but of course, people picked holes and people kind of figured things out, and we tried to catch as many things as we can. I'm sure there's things that we missed, like you said, that things will come up, and we'll have to kind of figure that out. But yeah, it'll be interesting. And yeah, the one thing that you mentioned we haven't really touched on, I don't think it's really come into play yet because we're still kind of in the early rounds, but is the kick return, punt return yards.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that's yeah, I did it in a way so that if it's a straight up just kick return or punt return, they don't do anything else. Like there's someone you could throw in your flex, but they're not going to be crazy good. But the guys that do both, the guys that can catch passes, or running backs maybe that do some rushing, but also do kick return, punt returns, they'll be interesting. So I think probably in the mid to later rounds, we'll start to see more like picks that go out there that you're like they wouldn't get picked in a normal dynasty league at this point, but
Hmm.
people are starting to think about it. Um, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And the other thing is the quarterback situation. Curious how that'll go. For the most part, I feel like it's been fairly standard for what a normal Superflex dynasty draft kind of
Hmm.
looks like. But um, yeah, there's only so many of those, and
Yeah.
we're already in round two. I don't know how many are off the board, but or through round two, I don't know how many are off the board, but um, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Oh, it's so fun. I
Yeah.
love it.
Awesome. Well, hey, I really appreciate you jumping on and good luck with the rest of your draft.
Hey, I appreciate it, Dan.
Dynasty Mountain, the climb to greatness.
To follow more Dynasty Mountain content, follow at Winning Dynasty on TikTok and subscribe for free at winningdynasty.substack.com.